Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, celebrating the downtowns of Bettendorf and Davenport. Each city is hosting a free family-friendly event, one taking place tomorrow and the other next Saturday. We'll get a preview of both coming up. And we'll meet a local mom on a mission to get children to sleep in their own beds. She's helping families create healthy bedtime routines with her new book. And the large nonprofit Toys for Tots, which helped 10,000 local kids get gifts under the tree at Christmas last year, is searching for a new warehouse for its 2025 operations. What the organization needs more specifically and how you can help, all coming up. Plus, themed summer camps for your kids in tech, culinary, and more for the summer. That's all happening on this Friday, May 30th. Welcome to Quad Cities Live. I'm Kyle Keel. Morgan has the day off. Well, get ready to be wowed by beautiful, colorful clothing from all around the world, and it's all supporting a very important cause in our community. It's the International Fashion Show put on by the American Association of University Women. And joining me now from the Bettendorf Davenport chapter is Dr. Lisa Killinger. Dr. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I should say welcome back because you've been on the show previously talking about this, and you're sporting one of these very unique fashion statements today. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But the event's happening this weekend, this Sunday specifically, at the Butterworth Center in Moline.
Yeah, we're super excited about it.
Yeah, so talk about some of the countries that are going to be participating, some of the works of art as far as fashion goes from each country.
We have people from Pakistan, from India, some people from Afghanistan, Liberia, Venezuela, Ecuador, so all over the world. And we're working on a relationship with the U.S.-China friendship, so we may have some Asian guests as well.
All right, so talk a little bit more about your organization. As we mentioned, you're from the American Association of University Women. So what do you do there, and how does this help our community?
Sure. AAUW was founded in 1881, and it's been working on women's rights for a long time.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chapter that long, and I certainly haven't been involved that long, but we've been doing scholarships for women every year, and this year we were able to give away $19,000 of scholarships to Quad City area women for helping them go back to school.
Oh, that's fantastic. So talk about the outfit that you have on today, because these are one of the pieces that come from a different country, from overseas.
Well, I was fortunate enough to have retired recently, and in my retirement party, some women from around the world gave me gifts. And this is an outfit from Syria, a cover-up that comes from Syria. And so I really love the embroidery on it, and I thought I'd wear it today.
All right, so let's talk about, we talked about a lot of the fashions that are happening. So tell us about admission. Is there a price to get into this fashion show?
Anyone can come, and everyone is welcome, but we do have a suggested donation of $20 so that we'll raise funds, because the whole point of this is not to show fashions, but to actually raise awareness and raise funds for refugee services here in the Quad Cities.
Yeah, talk about a few of those services that are going to benefit from this.
Absolutely. We have three main organizations that help refugees in the Quad Cities, and there are others, but Quad Cities Alliance for Immigrants and Refugees, QCAIR, World Relief, which brings many of our refugees and has settled, hundreds of families here, and then also Tapestry Farms, which helps through their growing of vegetables to feed and nourish our refugee population. We're so proud to give the money to these three organizations.
Yeah, very important organizations, all that have been featured on this show because of the work that they do in our community. So it's nice that you're helping them out with this. What seems to be an incredible event that's going to be happening. So we saw some of the models on the screen. So are each model, every model that you have, are they going to be sporting something from the country that they're from?
Absolutely, and there may be a refugee or two who came here with nothing and they're very new in this country, and they will be dressed in whatever clothes they have been given because they're refugees and they can bring nothing. So unless they've had time to sew or remake or acquire their native dress, they don't have anything when they come over. So it's really moving, that they come here with nothing and they sometimes build their fortunes here.
And I think this is a good opportunity for people to learn about other countries, learn about other cultures. So what is that you want people to take away from this?
Well, we are in a very rich area here in the Quad Cities in that we have such a tapestry of cultures. So many people from around the world, and they enrich this Quad Cities in ways that you won't know unless you meet them. And many people will get to meet them if they come on Sunday.
Yeah, and we alluded to this earlier, but it's at the Butterworth Center in Moline. Beautiful, beautiful place to have this.
Such a beautiful place, and this is our first year in the Butterworth Center. We've had it other places, but this is our first year there, and so it's going to be a beautiful venue.
And why did you choose the Butterworth Center this year?
we just wanted to reflect the beauty of this Quad Cities, and many of our refugees and immigrants don't know about the Butterworth Center.
Sure.
They have to see it. It's a showpiece. It's beautiful.
Yeah, another learning opportunity for sure. So I had a question on the top of my head and I just forgot it, but you've done a lot of great work raising money here throughout the last several years. And here's the question I was going to ask. Do we need tickets to go to the event?
Yeah, no tickets in advance. People just show up on Sunday from 2 to 4, and that's when the event is. And models will come a little bit earlier because we have to get them ready and staged and queued up. But also too, we are so fortunate to have a couple of donors that are going to match some funds. So it's really important that we make some funds so that we can get those matches.
Awesome. And how many years have you had this show?
This is our third.
Our third year, okay. And hopefully we keep that going for many more years to come. Well, if you want to check it out, the International Fashion Show, hosted by American Association of University Women, takes place this Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Butterworth Center in Moline. And as Dr. Lisa mentioned, there is a suggestion of a donation at the door, all benefiting local immigrant and refugee organizations here in the Quad Cities. And if you want more information, you can contact Lisa directly via text or call at the phone number on your screen. We'll, of course, have all of this information up on our website, hopefully a little bit later today. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome, and thanks for having me.
Yes, have fun this Sunday.
Oh, we will.
Yes, I'm sure you will. All right, well, up next, Toys for Tots is looking for a new home. This year's operations could be at risk if a new warehouse isn't found. We'll hear from the event coordinator next on QCO.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Schools are letting out for summer, temperatures are warming up, but it's never too early to start thinking about Toys for Tots. The campaign doesn't start until October, but the organization could really use our help right now. Sarah Decker joins us now. She is the Quad Cities Toys for Tots event coordinator. Sarah, welcome back.
Yeah,
a little earlier than usual.
Yes, unfortunately we ran into a situation where we did lose our warehouse for this upcoming campaign. We thank the city of Moline for hosting us the last couple of years.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's hard for us right now without a secured warehouse to continue our operations.
Yes, and we're talking 10,000 kids that benefited from Toys for Tots. I mean, you got thousands and thousands of donations.
Yes.
These have to go somewhere.
Yes, so our warehouse is basically our operating hub. It's where we receive toys, it's where we process the toys, and it's where we distribute the toys.
Okay.
So we have quite a few requirements for this, such as dock doors, 15 to 20,000 square feet preferably, and we do have 56 local volunteers who do work around the clock, so bathrooms would be great.
Sure, oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so we're looking for a warehouse. So we're talking, this really needs to be something that is found very soon. I know you've had several, very kind people who have offered up spaces, but a little bit later this year. But really, it's something that is kind of an immediate need for your organization.
Yeah, I've had multiple businesses tell me, if it's not leased by mid-August, we'll let you know. And I'm like, oh, we start our campaign in the beginning of October.
Yeah.
That's when we start our registration, our whole campaign. So we're looking for something now. Even just getting the word out would help us a lot. But we do about 25,000 to 30,000 toys per year, and over 340 bikes are stored in our warehouse. So we do need quite big of a space.
All right, so worst case scenario, come October, Toys for Tots doesn't have a warehouse. So what happens with your organization at that point?
At that point, I don't think we would be able to accommodate the 10,000 kids that we do help, and I think it would be a much longer process than it typically is, because typically we can get all this done in about 3 months with all of our volunteers, but without a warehouse space and nowhere to store the toys, then we kind of run into a bunch of situations as how do we do our distribution? How do we get the toys ready for these families? And it's a very tough decision to make, and we're currently working on a plan B if that does happen, but we're really hoping that it doesn't.
Yeah, so this really could have a domino effect on your whole operations here for the season. So,
yes.
We do want to point out that Toys for Tots is a 501(c), so
yes.
It is a tax write-off.
Yes, it is a tax write-off for anyone who wants to donate space or anyone who donates monetary or donates toys. They can be able for a tax write-off with our actual coordinator, who is Sergeant Q as of right now. But we're hoping to get started as soon as possible, and we're hoping to make it a permanent space, not necessarily a temporary space.
Sure.
But we are willing to offer our help with whoever decides to offer us a warehouse in terms of getting it ready. We're not picky. We need somewhere to do this for the kids of the Quad Cities. And it is a very big impact. Not only do we do just Christmas for them, but we also help agencies and foster families throughout the year. So we're working year-round constantly. So it's very hard for us right now without an operating space.
Toys for Tots definitely a year-round effort, and the need is always growing as well.
Yes, we're always ending up with more families every year and more kids every year, which means more toys, more space, more people. So anyone who has any leads on anything can reach out to us through our Facebook page or our website, which is quad-cities.toysfortots.org.
Yeah, obviously that's the main reason why you're here today, is to get the word out that this warehouse is needed. So if you have the space, or you know someone who might have the space, you can get in contact with Toys for Tots. Let's talk about what we can do right now with the organization, because as we mentioned, the actual campaign for this year doesn't start until October 1st, and that's when you register. But you know, if you want to get a head start, you can donate now.
Yeah, you can donate now. Like I said, if you reach out through our Facebook page and set up a donation time. Right now, we don't really have a storage space or a very big storage space, but we will always take donations if you have anything new and unwrapped toys. And we also will take some summer toys, because we do some other summer events with some other like nursing homes and some other kids around the community. So anything that you have, just reach out to us, whether it's space, toys, monetary donations, we will take them all year round.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the money donations as well. So even though that the 2025 Toys for Tots drive does not get underway until October 1st, which is when the registration starts, as Sarah was mentioning, you can donate all year long by visiting the website on your screen. That's quad-cities.toysfortots.org. And again, we're going to have this website on our website as well, kwqc.com. That's where you can also contact the organization if you have any of those suggestions for the warehouse that is desperately needed for Toys for Tots, and hopefully you guys can kind of find a permanent space so we don't run into this problem next year.
Yes, hoping so.
Sarah, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. All right, well, coming up on Quad Cities Live, it's not just a bedtime story. This book, written by a local mom, gives parents and children a healthy bedtime routine where kids sleep in their own beds. How to achieve independent sleep with your little ones, next on Quad Cities Live.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Well, if you're a parent of a young child or children like me, you know how difficult bedtime can be. And so does our next guest. She's a mom and local entrepreneur who's written a book to help bedtime become a little more fun, comforting, and meaningful for both the child as well as the parent. Jennifer Collins is the author of Can I Sheep With You? And she joins us now in studio to tell us a bit more about her book. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jennifer.
Yes.
All right, so this is the book right here, Can I Sheep With You? What was the inspiration behind writing this book? And, you know, I think I can come up with this myself.
Sure. So my son, when he was little, could not say sleep, and he would come to the side of the bed and say, "Can I sheep with you?"
How cute.
And being a tired mom, I would grab him and just let him sleep with me. Unfortunately, I let that happen for too many years and many sleepless nights, as we all know, when they toss and turn and kick and hit.
Yes, and you know, I think that a lot of parents with young children right now, or maybe parents who now have grown children, kind of like you, your son's a little older now, they can relate to this. So obviously this is a story, a book around bedtime, but there's really much more of a purpose of this for both the child and the parent.
Right. It basically creates a routine for the child and for the parents. It pairs with a sheep, a plush sheep, for the child to do a nightly routine, create consistency, and want to go to sleep in their own bed with the sheep.
All right, and let's talk about the beautiful illustrations, very colorful illustrations in here as well.
Yes, thank you. My illustrator is Maureen Berzalian. She's currently out of Florida, but used to live in Bettendorf. So she was very easy and wonderful to work with. I really appreciate her.
So what ages do you think that your book is more geared toward?
I would think anyone, really. I would specifically probably start with toddlers to get them at the beginning until it's too late. And then again, it's probably a great baby shower gift, or anything like that for the community.
Yeah, so maybe like toddler, elementary type age.
Yes.
All right, so what's the response been like from people who have already taken advantage and have been able to read the book?
So I have several children that have received the book and the sheep, and I've received a lot of pictures, and I call them my sheep squad.
I like that.
So that is great, and they have really enjoyed the routine. So it's starting a pattern, and I think that's the most important.
Yeah, and I think, you know, from experience, creating that pattern, creating that routine can be very difficult. So, you know, let's hope that this book can provide that. So, you know, where can we get our hands on this book? Because I know that you're actually in a local store in LeClaire, right?
I am. I am in Cody Rose Floral
Yes,
Shop.
we had them on the show before as
Yes.
well, yeah.
And I am also on Amazon, and I am on Facebook for J.D. Collins, author.
Okay, so we'll have all of that information on our website, and we have the information on where you can find it right now. So barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and of course, Cody Rose Flower Co. there in LeClaire. So is this the first of a series, maybe?
That's a good question. I appreciate that. I would like to say I marked it off my bucket list, and in the event that there's more to it, then yes, I would add to it.
So I have to ask you, what does your son think of this book? Obviously he was the inspiration behind it.
Yes.
So what does he think about this?
So he's 13 at middle school, and he's excited. He went to my first book signing.
Oh, he did? Oh, great.
He did
Great.
at the Tanglewood. However, he's a little insecure about being this age and having people know who he is.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But, you know, again, I think a lot of us, I feel like we don't really talk about the issues that we have, you know, at bedtime. But when I just had a situation last night, my wife and I literally said at 2 o'clock in the morning, we need to get these kids in their own bed. So I feel like this is speaking to me right now. Like when I saw that you were on the show today, I'm like, this is perfect. So I think many of us can relate.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes, most definitely. So if you want to get your hands on the book, it's already begun resonating with families in the Quad Cities, and it's available at Cody Rose Flower Co. in downtown LeClaire. And you also personally deliver them as well.
That is correct. I will ship them and or deliver them.
All right, awesome. Well, we'll have all this information on our website, and again, you can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And along with the book, you can get that plush sheep. Easy for me to say. Wow, say that 10 times fast. And that obviously is going to be a big hit with the kids as well.
Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much. Well, still to come in the second half of Quad Cities Live, a one-stop enrollment event for Eastern Iowa Community College. We'll have a look at the training and programs they have to offer, as well as summer camps. Plus, celebrating our downtowns, a lemonade sip and shop event in Davenport tomorrow, and another free family-friendly event that's outdoors next Saturday in Bettendorf. Look at all the details coming up.
And thanks to those Canadian wildfires, we're looking at hazy conditions as we get into and go through the weekend, but our temperatures will start warming up as well. Your full First Alert forecast coming up.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, we made it, and you'd probably be thinking it's going to be a nice sunny day, and it would be, but you can see the haze in our skies. That's that Canadian wildfire smoke. At this point, if you have respiratory issues, the good news is that not a lot of this is making it down to the ground. So we're looking at moderate air quality right now, and that's kind of what the forecast is for tomorrow. Even into Sunday, we'll continue to monitor if that changes, but right now, if you do have trouble with the smoky air, at least a history of that, at this point, looks like most of that smoke will stay aloft. If that changes, we'll let you know. We've got a little bit of a breeze out there, but look at the sky in Washington, Ottumwa, Burlington, Bettendorf, anywhere around the QCA, we've got that smoke. And again, you're seeing the source here well north of Edmonton and Alberta, and then as we move over to Manitoba, north of Saskatoon, under this cloud cover, more wildfires pushing that smoke. It's the thin haze you can see here. Not that. That's cloud cover right there, but that kind of thin gray haze, and that's working its way down into northern Minnesota, North Dakota, and now all the way down into Iowa with the back edge just to the west of Omaha there, but you can see it's pretty thick. Along with that, there is some cloud cover that could produce some rain just off to our east as we finish off the afternoon, but the smoke forecast has that right over the area as we go through the night and into our Saturday. Also some fairly hefty smoke aloft, but also Sunday now we're going to continue to see if those fires stay the same in terms of their intensity and scope. The jet stream not moving enough to change the trajectory of that smoke. So there it is Sunday afternoon as well. We stir up the atmosphere a little bit with some more active weather next week, so hopefully that will thin things out. Right now we're sitting at 80 degrees in the Quad Cities, some upper 70s to the north and to the south, 79 from Keokuk to Macomb to Peoria. And those winds coming in from the northwest, anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles per hour. These aren't gusts. We're seeing some of those gusts around 25. And on that northwest flow, well, not that you can see a whole lot of it, we do have a little bit of cloud cover, and that will continue this evening. Our skies technically, in terms of cloud cover, will clear out, but they will still be smoke-filled and hazy as we go through the night and into our Saturday. What we're watching for Saturday, you see the winds here coming in from the northwest, but you look over the metro and toward Lake Michigan, they're coming in from the northeast. That's that backdoor cold front. We're going to keep an eye on that. Exacttrack does give us the idea that there will be some clouds that form along that front, and there might be a handful of isolated showers or thunderstorms that form later Saturday afternoon. It's a narrow window. So if we get that development, it won't last long, and then we get into Sunday, we're back to sun, but it will be hazy sun. Lows tonight in the upper 50s to near 60, and we'll see those highs anywhere from the low 80s to even mid 80s towards southeast Iowa ahead of that incoming cool front for the day on Saturday. As we get you into Sunday again, we'll see the sun continue. At least it'll be hazy sun, and then Monday, that's a day with those southwest winds where we're going to be very close to 90 degrees for an afternoon high. We look ahead toward Tuesday. That's when the weather changes begin. Front coming through will give us some showers and thunderstorms, and we could see some lingering rain into Wednesday, and then another system comes through with some more rain Thursday. Still warm as we finish off the afternoon. Temperatures near 80. We'll settle back to the 60s and 50s then overnight. So Kyle, we're just going to keep an eye on that smoke. Right now it's holding aloft. If it gets lower to the surface, that might mean a dent in our air quality to the point where it becomes unhealthful.
Yeah, I think we'll have to keep a close eye this weekend because, you know, Eric, I know a lot of kids are going to want to be hitting the pools now that we're getting those warmer temps.
Yeah, good point. Everybody's going to get outside because you couldn't really do that last weekend.
This will be a welcome warm-up, that's for sure. All right, thanks so much, Eric. Eastern Iowa Community Colleges recently celebrated graduation across all 3 campuses, and we've seen some truly powerful stories that show just how colleges can change lives, but not everyone knows how to get started, and that's where Admission Accomplished comes in. Heather Evans is an instructor at EICC and joins us now with how we can get enrolled into college, and even talk about some things we can do before the fall semester with some summer camps. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Admission Accomplished. Talk about it.
Okay, so Admission Accomplished is this wonderful opportunity that students have to come no matter where they are in their enrollment process. So it is Saturday, June 14th from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. It is meant to be kind of a drop-in event.
Okay.
We're there to meet them where they're at in the process, so they may need to come in just to get a student ID and be there for maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
Or they may be coming in and needing to start from the very beginning, doing the application for admission all the way to getting enrolled for classes, and we're also there for them for that.
All right, so if you're at step 0 right now, you can actually come into this event and leave and you'll be enrolled.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. So who is this for? You know, you mentioned, you know, for anyone, you know, anywhere in their process of college, you know, is this, obviously, you know, we got people coming from high school, but I always tell people it's never too late. You know, I went to college with people who, you know, are my age now, like in their 30s, and wanting to get started on their dream. It's never too late to live out that dream.
Absolutely. It is for anyone. So we will have people there helping with high school equivalency. So if someone wants to come in and get their work on their high set, we also will have staff there. All of our student services staff will be there to help students if they're coming straight from high school. But pretty much we are there for any age of learner, and we just want to make the experience welcoming and make everyone know that we are there to help them at whatever stage they're at.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that one thing that we all think about when it comes to college is the dollar signs, the money that comes with it. So there's going to be a lot of support there available for financial aid and perhaps help to get started on the FAFSA.
Yes, definitely. So we do have some events that are leading up to get what's called the FSA ID, which you have to submit your FAFSA.
Okay,
We have some more events coming up at the colleges next week for that. But for the event for Admission Accomplished, students can come in and get help submitting the FAFSA that day. So we will have plenty of financial aid staff and some other representatives there to help with that.
All right, and we have some of those dates and times on your screen, and this is for Clinton Community College as well as Muscatine Community College and Scott Community College. Those, of course, the 3 colleges that make up EICC. So for those that are wanting to take that next step and further their education, what types of programs do you offer at EICC?
Absolutely, we have so many.
Yeah.
So we have short-term training, so we have certificates, diplomas, so like a semester, a year, and then we offer associate associate's degrees, career academies for area high school students, just a variety of different opportunities. Healthcare is huge for us in terms of the number of programs that we offer, and then career technical education programs. So, but then also if students are looking to start with us and then continue on to a four-year institution, we have those associate degrees and transfer degrees. So just so many different options for students, no matter where they're at and what they're looking to do.
Yeah, as a community college student at one point myself, my experience was so great. It was so easy to take those classes and have them transferred to that four-year institution. So, before we get to the fall semester, you've got an opportunity for kids to come on campus and take some courses and kind of, I guess, learn some skills.
Yes.
So what type of, I know we got culinary, we've got technology. I know that one's really big.
Yeah, so we have partnered with what's called Black Rocket. So they do national curriculum. So they offer some really great summer camp opportunities. So we have, there will be coding for students as young as 6 years old. So a bunch of summer camps for students that go from the ages of like 6 to 15. We really focused in, we were seeing that there weren't a lot of opportunities for middle school age students. And so you'll see a number of those available, but I saw one that's called Create Your Own Zine, and so they're like mini magazines, and students kind of bring things in and create these mini magazines according to like their personality.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, a lot of interesting opportunities. I know there was like a YouTube creation one. I know that's really big with the kids these days as well. So there's also going to be a knitting camp that you're going to be holding. So talk a little bit more about that. That's happening in Clinton, right?
It is, yeah, that'll be in Clinton. And one of our faculty members, a math faculty member, Beth Wood, she owns the Wooden Loom in town in Clinton. And she graciously is having a couple of summer camps there for knitting. So students will be able to learn all the technical skills that go along with the techniques with knitting. There will be one session that will be for, I think it's 4th to 6th graders, and then another from 7th to 9th graders. And they will learn those different techniques, and then they'll walk away with a creative dishcloth and also a stylish scarf. So,
and I feel like those are the basics that you start out with. I think a lot of people picked up knitting as a pandemic project, I guess you could say. So if you want to learn more about that, if you got a young one at home, that'd be the perfect one. So if you'd like to learn more about how you can enroll in any classes at the 3 EICC campuses, you can visit the website on your screen, eicc.edu. That's also where you can find a rundown of all of the events, all of the courses that we talked about today. EICC has plenty to offer for people of really all interests.
Yes.
All right, Heather, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank
we appreciate
you so
it.
much.
Yes, of course. Well, coming up, a downtown Davenport event happening tomorrow. We'll learn more about the Lemonade Sip and Shop, along with another event in downtown Bettendorf next week, coming up on Quad Cities Live.
Quad Cities Live continues.
Well, whether you live in Davenport or Bettendorf, Moline or Rock Island, there is always something going on in our downtowns. And today we're highlighting a couple of those events happening in Davenport and Bettendorf. Here to talk about the events are Ryan Jancy with Downtown Bettendorf Organization and Haley Moore with Downtown Bettendorf. And then we've got Haley with Downtown Davenport Partnership. Thank you both for joining us today. Ryan, I want to start with you. Talk about the importance really of both of your organizations being part of the Quad Cities Chamber, because it's really an effort to get growth going on in our downtowns.
That's right. We have the opportunity, or we're lucky enough to have a job to where we get to make placemaking initiatives like these events, right? We want people into our urban core. We want them downtown. So whether it's beautification efforts, our website, events, it's about getting people down into our urban core and celebrating everything that we have to offer in downtowns.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially recently in the news, there's always something new that's happening in each of our downtowns, and this is always great to showcase downtown by having all of these events. So, Haley, we want to talk about your event that's happening tomorrow, the Lemonade Sip and Shop. So, this is happening from what, 10 to 8?
10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
10 a.m. to 5.
Yes.
All right. So, what can people expect as they head to downtown Davenport?
A lot of energy.
Yeah.
There'll be lemonades with different flavor enhancements offered at 20 participating businesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can hop around to different businesses, shop some great deals that are exclusive for Lemonade Sip and Shoppers, and then some yummy lemonade and a few curbside concerts along the way as well.
All right. So, where can we check out these concerts at? Who's
So
playing?
these concerts, we have a couple local artists.
Yeah, we love that.
We have someone playing outside of the Mississippi River Distilling Company Downtown Lounge,
sure, okay.
outside of Abernathy's, and then outside of Raygun at differing times throughout the day.
Awesome. So yeah, we're gonna have some great weather for that. I'm sure you're very,
Yes.
very grateful for that.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the businesses participating. You mentioned there's 20, so obviously we'd love to plug them all, but you know, time's not on our side. But what
Right.
are some of the few businesses that are?
Yeah. So we've got coffee. We've got 392 Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a couple restaurants, Daiquiri Factory. We've got Max Tavern. We've got Rosalie Jewelry for some jewelers. As I mentioned, Raygun.
Yeah.
We've got Front Street Brewery, both the pub and eatery as well as the tap room. And then, of course, our sponsor, Lemonade Stand Restaurant,
Yeah, I
who's
was gonna
providing
say,
all of that delicious lemonade.
They're gonna have the lemonade, and you said it's gonna be spiked with like energy and all this other flavor.
Yeah, so every location, every business that's participating gets to offer their own enhancements. So we've got fresh fruit garnishes, we've got edible glitter, we've got umbrellas, we've got alcoholic enhancements, homemade syrups, we've got it all.
All right, and I understand that there's a stamp card that you can win prizes with. So how does that work?
Yes, so once you make a purchase at a participating business, they'll give you a stamp. If you get 5 stamps, you can turn it into any of the participating businesses, and we'll collect those next week, and then we will have 1 grand prize winner.
All right, so we look forward to that tomorrow. So you can have all the fun in downtown Davenport tomorrow, and then make plans next Saturday to be downtown in Bettendorf.
That's right. June 7th starts at 11 o'clock and goes till about 10 o'clock at night. We're going to have a bags tournament down there, some live music, and a whole bunch of other good activities down there.
Great location, 15th Street Landing.
Yeah, we're right at the foot of the at the I-74 bridge, right next to Verde in downtown Bettendorf. And it's just a way to get people to start seeing what we're building in downtown. I don't know if you know or not, we have a brand new bridge down there, I-74 bridge.
Heard of that
so we're looking to activate the urban park underneath it in anticipation of some development that's going to happen on the west side of the bridge here in the future.
Yeah, and you mentioned Verde. They're going to be dishing out some good food and some drinks, right?
That's right. Yep, Verde will be down there. They're our host, if you will. We also have Smokin' Goodness, and Wolf It Down Pizza will be on site for that day.
Oh, so good. I'm hungry.
Yum.
And the event is free.
The event is free. We also have a bags tournament, free to play. We're giving cash prizes for that, 300, 200, and 100. There'll be 2 different bags tournaments, blind draw for partners. Always a good time, meet some new Bettendorfers or some Quad citizens, and have some libations and throw some bags.
Yeah, we love a good bags tournament here in the Quad Cities. You can, you can bond over bags, I suppose you could say. And obviously, like in downtown Davenport, you're gonna have some live music as well.
Yeah, we have live music. We'll kick it off at noon with Rude Punch. Then we have Ten of Soul. And we also have Funktastic 5 will be closing out the night.
Good old
we're also excited, too. In between the acts, we'll have Honor Among Wrestling, so we'll have some live wrestling happening down there. So we're excited for everything that's happening down there. There's something for everybody. Food trucks. We have plenty of kids' activities. We'll have 6 hours of kids' activities with bubble stations and hands-on science by our friends at Absolute Science. So just a great day. Eric told me the weather's going to be perfect, so we're excited for that. Looking for a nice, calm, cool day to step out and be downtown.
Yes, most definitely. And, this event has really grown a lot over the years as well.
It has.
As Bettendorf has grown.
That's right. And that's, we're still in the middle of our renaissance. Like we talked about, the bridge is finished. We anticipate some more development happening on the west side of the bridge. So we're rapidly becoming a place where people want to live, work, and play. And this event is just to get people back into our urban core and experience what downtown Bettendorf has to offer.
Yeah, and again, like I mentioned, these downtowns, there's always something going on. So, if you haven't been down, maybe check out one of these events and see what's new, what's changed since the last time you've been down there. So there's the information on your screen for the Lemonade Sip and Shop. It's happening tomorrow from 10 to 5. It's free in downtown Davenport, so you want to snag all those sweet deals and get a taste of that yummy lemonade. And then, of course, Be Downtown is next Saturday, June 7th, from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the 15th Street Landing there in downtown Bettendorf. And again, all of these events are free, and check out what's new in downtown Davenport and Bettendorf. Haley and Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll still come. We'll talk about our wins of the week, which includes some time on the water training. We'll have that and have an explanation coming up next. Coming up Monday on QCL, the benefits of artificial intelligence for businesses. We'll learn about a human-centric approach gaining popularity right here in the QCA. Plus, preventing brain drain as schools release for summer break. Ways to keep the kids engaged when we visit with the Rock Island Public Library. Join us Monday at 3 right here on Quad Cities Live.
All right, before we go, we show you our sky view shots from around the area. And one thing you've probably noticed, it's coolish today, but our sky almost looks like July when it gets really hazy because of the humidity. Well, this is the smoke that's filling our atmosphere thanks to those Canadian wildfires. Today, we don't have air quality issues here, but if you go to the north in Minnesota and Wisconsin, there are air quality alerts in place, and we'll just have to keep monitoring this. Right now, the smoke is up high. If it does lower, we might see some air quality issues this weekend, but we'll be at least back to moderate air quality tomorrow and Sunday. And again, if that changes and if it gets worse, we'll let you know. Otherwise, mainly cleared tonight in terms of our cloud cover. 58 our overnight low as we get you into the day. Saturday, 81 our high, mostly sunny, and some isolated storms possible, just a slight chance for that, and that would be late in the afternoon, mainly into southeast Iowa, west central Illinois, and again, mostly sunny, but that's going to be hazy sunshine. And as we look at that 70 forecast, we're back to 84 on Sunday, near 90 on Monday. I'm sure some of us will hit 90. Becomes a little bit more breezy, and that will lead to some showers and thunderstorms as the front approaches on Tuesday, and that does cool us back to the mid-80s. And then look at the 70s as we deal with some rain, mainly early and late in the day on Wednesday, and then another little complex runs through Thursday with highs in the low 70s before we start recovering Friday. At this point, we're not under any outlooks for severe weather, but that is certainly something that could change with just a few runs of our models, so we'll keep tabs on that as we go into next week.
All right, Eric, thanks so much. It looks like a great weekend to maybe get out on the water, and we're talking about our wins of the week now, so we'll start with you, Eric, because kind of teased you were doing a little training.
Yeah, actually, a week ago Friday, I wasn't here because we were on the water here in the Quad Cities with the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, and we're doing man overboard training and towing.
Oh, yes.
And what was really great about that day is we had an actual training officer from the real Coast Guard come.
Oh, neat.
And I mean, I got on that boat Friday and my heart was pumping because I did not want to make a fool of myself in front of the Coast Guard.
No, you don't want to do that.
Did a few times, but you know, it's a learning experience. It's the first time we ever did anything like that. These are not my photos from the day, but we did have the dummy that we threw over to rescue, and it's actually a very precise operation to, one, get a man back on board, man or woman back on board, and then to safely tow a boat, either a stern tow or then transitioning to a side tow when you're dealing with 4 lines and making sure you can get that boat safely back to the nearest harbor. So learned a lot, had a great time, and it's continued to circulate through my head since Friday of where I made my mistakes, what I did right, and how I can try to perfect it the next time we do it.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot that goes into this. So how has the training overall been? Has it been what you expected?
A lot more intense than what I expected. I mean, we're actually getting real Coast Guard training through all the manuals we're reading, testing on, and the exercises that we're doing, and it's a lot. And I'm trying to do this in my first year, and you know, you think of a Coast Guardsman, you know, they're in for years doing this stuff.
They have all that
so
experience.
It's very accelerated learning, and I'm sure our own Jake could talk about military training. By the book is by the book.
Yes, and you know, you learn by doing, so I guess this is some pretty good hands-on experience. Well, my win is on land, and it happened yesterday. My son has been asking for a scooter, so we got him a scooter, and we spent about an hour outside perusing the neighborhood. I think there's a video coming up of him going. He did the whole thing where he's like focused and had his tongue out. And, he loved it, had a smile on his face the whole time. And then, you know, little sister Chandler was walking along. She ended up finding a piece of sidewalk chalk. And then as we were walking back home, and I had the baby strapped to me on my chest as my wife was inside working, but on our way home, she had to go to like every few squares. She had to draw on the sidewalk with a piece of sidewalk chalk. So that's a 3- and 4-year-old for you, who will now be sleeping through the night. And now that we talked to Jennifer Collins a little bit earlier, with that book, so we'll be reading that tonight.
Your daughter could draw little dash lines and road lines and make sure that he's on the right side of the road and everything, and doing it right. But it looks like they both look like they're having a blast.
Oh yeah, we love being outside, and that's where they're at right now. And right now we want to bring in executive producer Jake Eastburn, because Jake, you have come up with this new idea.
Well, I don't know if it's
QCL.
a new idea, but it's a fun little feature that we can do here on the show. We're going to be calling it QCL Q&A, where viewers can submit any questions that they have for you, for Morgan, for the show, or even anybody else here on TV6, so we can invite them on.
Oh yeah.
So these are some ways that you can submit your questions. You can call our office, you can email us, or connect with us on Facebook. Any question you want, will obviously the producer, me, Claire and I will choose the questions that come in, and then we'll have you guys answer them on the air.
So you're going to filter these?
Yes.
They're not going to be crazy off the wall. Why don't I want to answer that kind of question?
You know those will come in too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, Jake, thank you so much. Eric, thank you. And thank you all for watching Quad Cities Live. We'll be back here on Monday, but in the meantime, your news at 4 with Kate Kopatich is coming up next. Have a great weekend.